You're overwhelmed at work, you have a ton of projects piling up at home, and your calendar is packed with overdue tasks. It's easy to neglect taking care of ourselves when we're busy and overwhelmed. Even a small reprieve feels like a luxury. Joining us today is Meisha-Gay Mattis. Meisha-Gay Mattis is the founder of Body, a certified integrative nutrition health coach, and a certified American Council on Exercise ACE fitness trainer. She decided to become a health coach to fulfill her passion of working with young women seeking to create balance in their lives, improved health and self-confidence, as well as their overall well-being. With your best interests at heart, I'm your host Talia, and this is JMMB Living. Hi Meisha, welcome to JMMB Living.
Delighted to be here.
How are you?
I'm awesome.
Good. How is it that you ensure that your clients understand the importance of self-care?
Oftentimes when we mention self-care, I just want to set the backdrop. We often think about, going on our way on some luxury vacation, but the truth is it doesn't have to be that. But first and foremost, I always like to help clients to understand that self-care is self-love, because you absolutely can't pour from an empty cup. And upon taking care of yourself, you have more of yourself to give to others.
Okay.
Yeah. So self-care is essential. It helps us to refresh, rejuvenate, restore, and get back to the task at hand, because most times what we can do is actually step back from all the stuff that you just listed out, the mountainous task, the stress. Yes. The most important thing that you can do is just step back, take a look back, and then go tackle that task head on. Hence the importance of self-care. I can't stress how important it is.
A lot of times persons think of self-care as probably getting your nails done, going
Precisely.
to the spa, possibly just doing something that you enjoy. How important is rest in self-care?
I often use a car analogy as an example. Okay. You have your car, after a certain time it acquires some amount of miles. You have to take it in for servicing. You have to fill up the gas when you're running low. Sleep and rest is almost like that. Once you're empty, it is important that you fill up, because if you fill up halfway, you're sure that you're going to burn out, pretty soon. So when your tank is full, you have way more time to dedicate to those precious tasks that you have.
Tell us a little bit about prioritizing, finding that balance, making sure that you give just enough to every aspect of your life.
It's important that we first accept that we only have 24 hours in a given day. You don't have more than the next person, or you don't have less. So when we talk about prioritizing, a lot of people will say, well, it's easy for you to say prioritize, but the truth is, I simply look at it as what I like to refer to as the big rocks, the most important things, what are essential, the necessities that must be done. Yes, we know we have the career and we have the family. Those are the big rocks. So upon placing emphasis or priority on those, then you realize what time you have left and what is not so important that you can now squeeze within that time. And taking care of yourself needs to be one of those big rocks.
When is it important to step away to take a vacation?
Some people would say, okay, every 3 months, every 6 months, but even though we can say every 3 months or 6 months, we can do this stuff daily. Simple stuff as meditating, yes. Just a 2-minute meditation. If you're freaked out and you're about to send an angry email from your desk at work, you take that 2-minute break and you just there you go. Some deep breathing, and then you're like, okay, sometimes you find that you might feel better, you might not feel better, but just to retreat, simple tasks like that is just enough for you to replenish and rejuvenate. And also exercising is a great way to refresh as well.
Just clicking that refresh button.
Precisely.
For persons who are planning a vacation though, what are some of the tips that you have for them?
What is important is that you step away from the constant pressure and the surroundings of life of being wired, because that's where most of the stress tends to occur. A lot of people don't know. We're constantly wired. We're so pressured into wanting to be in the know, and nothing is wrong with being in the know, but oftentimes it's good to accept that we can't control everything. Yes, there's bombing, there are kids joining, and that's fine, but sometimes you really want to get away from that. So when you're planning a vacation, you want to ensure that the vacation spot doesn't necessarily have to have Wi-Fi, the long and short of it, because we oftentimes think that we can't live without being constantly connected. And sometimes when we disconnect ourselves from technology, that's when we tend to find ourselves. We find more time to do the stuff that we need. Pick up a physical book. You'll find that there's a vast difference with reading an electronic book versus reading a hard copy.
Okay.
So we have to learn to prioritize health and wellness, because it impacts the whole being.
Thank you for sharing with us so much about prioritizing, finding that balance, taking that well-needed vacation, and the importance of self-care. That's it from us here on JMMB Living. I'm your host, Talia. See you next time.